This is the story of Benoite Rencurel. She was a poor shepherdess living in the French Alps. Virgin Mary started appearing before her in 1664 and continued to visit her throughout her life. Let us learn more about this amazing story. Benoite Rencurel was born on September 16, 1647, in a little village called Saint-Étienne de Vancouver. This little village was located in southern France at the foothills of the French Alps. Little Benoit was born into extreme poverty. By the time she was 7 years old, her father died, which made things even worse. There was no school in Saint-Étienne de Vancouver, so Benoit never learned to read or write. But her mother faithfully taught her about Our Father, Hail Mary, and the Creed. Pretty soon, the debtors arrived at their doorsteps, demanding payments. But how could this poor woman come up with so much money? They had become so poor by now that some days they only had stale bread and water. By the time Benoit was 12 years old, she took employment for 2 masters at the same time. She started looking after their sheep in return for a small payment. She loved this job as it gave her plenty of time to pray. She had turned 17 years old by now. One fine day, she was shepherding the flocks as usual. She was praying the rosary and watching the flock. Suddenly, an old man, dressed in vestments of the previous bishop, came to her and asked,
"My daughter, what are you doing here?"
The little girl was surprised at first. She had never seen him before, but she quickly gained control of herself and said,
"I am watching my sheep, praying to God and looking for water to drink."
"I'll get some water for you."
The old man went to a well, which Benoit had never seen there before. She had been to this place so many times, but never did she notice that well.
You are so beautiful. Are you an angel or Jesus?
"I am Maurice, to whom the nearby chapel is dedicated. My daughter, do not come back to this place. It is part of a different territory. The guards here would take your flock if they found it here. Go to the valley above Saint-Étienne. That is where you will find the Mother of God."
But sir, he is in heaven. How can I see her there?
Yes, she is in heaven, and on earth too when she wants.
Early the next morning, Benoit led her flock to the rocky valley of Laus. She had just arrived in front of a little grotto on the site. It was then that she saw a lady of incomparable beauty standing before her. She was holding a child, no less beautiful by the hand. In spite of Saint Maurice's prediction, the naive little shepherd girl could not believe that she was in the presence of the Mother of God.
Oh, beautiful lady, what are you doing up there?
Then, without waiting for an answer, she added,
Would you be so kind as to give me the child?
The lady smiled without answering. At mealtime, she took a piece of bread and said,
Do you want to eat with me? I have some good bread which can be softened at the fountain.
The lady smiled again, enjoying the presence of Benoit. The lady allowed Benoit to hold her child for a while. Then, when it was evening, she took the child in her arms, entered the grotto, and disappeared. Benoit continued to see Our Lady as she shepherded her sheep there each day for the next 4 months. The shepherd girl's face glowed with happiness right from her first meeting with Our Lady. She shared her happiness with everyone around her. People began to wonder, seeing the change in her.
What is she really seeing, the Blessed Virgin?
Benoit did not know this herself, and she never dared to ask the lady. She had given her so much joy. Putting herself on the level of the mountain girl's uneducated mind, the Queen of Heaven started tutoring her. Our Lady corrected her stubbornness, abruptness, and her attachment to things. She taught her the Litany of Loretto by having her repeat what she said, word by word. She had now taken Benoit as her student. One day, she even invited Benoit to rest beside her and allowed her to sleep on the helm of her mantle. During this time, Benoit had told her employer about the apparitions. Mrs. Roland, a woman who had no interest whatsoever in religion, followed Benoit to see for herself what was going on. One day before dawn, she went in secret to the grotto, entered before Benoit, and hid behind a rock. Benoit arrived as usual, and a few moments later, Blessed Virgin appeared before her.
Your mistress is over there, hiding behind the rock. Her conscience is in a very bad state. She should do penance.
Mrs. Roland had heard everything. She cried and promised to make amends, and she kept her word. She lived a pious life for the rest of her life. News of the apparition began to spread. People were talking about them all over. Many believed in Benoit, but some thought she was lying to get famous. One day, Virgin Mary revealed her name to Benoit.
I am Mary, the mother of Jesus.
The shepherd girl was not really shocked, as she had already guessed it by now.
You will not see me here for any more, not for some time.
Benoit was very sad to hear that. Benoit did not see her heavenly mistress for an entire month. She missed talking to the Blessed Virgin. It was the end of September. She was, as usual, shepherding her flock when she suddenly sensed that Our Lady was somewhere nearby. Benoit ran searching for her. When she had to cross a river, she climbed on top of a goat to cross the river. Halfway up the hill that leads to Laus, Benoit caught sight of the Virgin. She threw herself at her feet and asked,
Oh, good mother, why did you deprive me of the joy of seeing you for so long?
From now on, you will only see me in the chapel that is in Laus.
She searched the next day for a long time to find the chapel. She knew she had found the chapel when she smelled a sweet smell nearby. The little chapel in Laus was no more than a small, thatch-roofed structure, just over 2 meters square. She saw the doors of the chapel were wide open and walked inside. Inside, she found the beautiful lady standing on the dust-covered altar.
My daughter, you have searched diligently for me, and you should not have wept. Even so, you pleased me by not being impatient.
But Benoit was embarrassed at how dirty and poor the chapel was.
Honorable lady, would you like me to spread my apron under your feet? It is very white.
Our Lady refused and assured her that the chapel would soon be well adorned.
I want a large church built on this spot. The church will be built in honor of my dear son and myself. Here, many sinners will be converted. I will appear to you often here.
Build a church? It will need a lot of money.
Do not worry. You will find all that you need when the time comes, and it will not be long.
Benoit traveled the 4 kilometers to Laus every day, even through the entire winter. She prayed as Mary had instructed for the conversion of sinners. In 1665, Mary asked her to stop tending her flocks of sheep in order to devote herself to her mission. As news of the continuing apparition spread, the number of visitors to Laus increased. Graces and blessings were poured down upon the souls. The number of visitors to this chapel increased from hundreds to thousands. Cures of all kinds abounded, and sinners were converted in great numbers. On May 3rd, 1665, 35 parishes converged in a ceremonial procession. Vicar General Reverend Guillaume Gallard was curious about what was going on, and he visited the chapel in August of 1665. He obtained such great graces that he was immediately convinced of the authenticity of apparitions. But Laus was not his diocese, so he wrote a letter to Vicar General of the Diocese of Embrun, Father Antonio Lambert, to make an official inquiry. Father Lambert was unsympathetic and thought Benoit was lying. He arrived at Laus on September 14, 1665, to put an end to this sorcery by proving Benoit was lying. When Benoit heard the news, she was afraid and wanted to run away at first. But Mary intervened.
No, my daughter, you must not run away. You must remain, for you must do justice to churchmen. They will question you one by one and try to catch you with your own words, but do not be afraid. Tell the Vicar General that he can very well make God come down from heaven by the power he received when he became priest, but he has no commands to give the Mother of God.
The interrogation started with Father Lambert questioning her about the apparitions. Benoit remained calm during the interrogation, answering his questions in a calm and assured voice. But Father Lambert had already made up his mind.
It is my conviction, as it is everyone with common sense, that your visions are false. I am going to close down this chapel. I am sorry, my child.
Benoit was sad to hear this, but she didn't lose her calm. She remembered what Mother Mary told her.
Sire, although you command God each morning and make him come down to the altar by the power you received when you became a priest, you have no command to his Holy Mother, who does as she pleases here.
Father Lambert was quite impressed by her words.
Well, if what people saying is true, then pray to her to show me the truth by sign or miracle, and I will do all that I can do to accomplish her will.
It rained heavily for the next 2 days, and the vicar had to postpone his departure. Catherine Weil, a well-known cripple in the area, arrived at the chapel that day. Her nerve condition disorder was declared incurable by 2 renowned surgeons. She was praying the novena with her mother. Around midnight of the last day of her novena, she suddenly felt her legs relax and gain strength. Catherine was surprised and confused. She could even stand up on her own now. The next morning, she entered the chapel walking all by herself, totally cured. The vicar general was saying the Mass, but there was quite a stir created by the people shouting,
Miracle, miracle, miracle!
Father Lambert was moved to tears, and he had a hard time finishing Mass. The Vicar General wrote in his report,
There is something extraordinary occurring in this chapel. Yes, the hand of God is here.
With the help of Father Gallard and many others, the construction of the much-needed larger church began on October 7, 1666. Benoit became a Dominican tertiary on the same occasion. Father Gallard oversaw the construction works. Many of the pilgrims, as well as the local people, would carry 1 or more stones from the stream to the construction site. Benoit did everything to motivate the workers. She prepared their meals and prayed with them. It took 4 years to finish the works, and the church was finally completed in 1670. Our Lady of Laus is known as the refuge of the sinners. Our Lady appeared to Benoit for more than half a century, and she repeated a call for holiness and devotion. The Mother of God also promised miraculous healings for those anointed with holy oil if they had faith in her intercession. People who visit the church even today can sometime experience the sweet, heavenly fragrance of the place, which is believed to occur during the presence of Our Holy Lady. Hello, viewers. Sorry for interrupting the video. I just wanted to take a moment to request you to pray for us and donate if you can. If you can donate just $5, Christian Kids TV can keep making more videos like this. If you are not in a position to donate, then do pray for us. In fact, prayer support is very important to our mission. Thanks for your time, and we hope you enjoy the video.